Best Apple Macbook in 2021. Apple's line of laptops, which the company calls MacBooks, are considered to be the gold standard of portable computers. They look great, run incredibly well for several years, and receive regular security updates to add features and boost security. If something goes wrong, you can take a MacBook to an Apple store to get serviced instead of rolling the dice at a third-party big box store. If you don't live near an Apple store, check to see if there's an authorized Apple repair location. If you're thinking about upgrading your current MacBook, or want to make the switch from a Windows machine, we've laid out all of your best options. Whether you need a computer for word processing and web browsing, or high-resolution video and photo editing, there's a MacBook for you. 1. Apple Macbook Air. It has a 13.3-inch high-resolution Retina display, 8GB of RAM, 256GB of storage, and Apple's new M1 processor. That new chip allows the MacBook Air to get up to 15 hours of battery life per charge. You should expect to get around 12 based on your brightness, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi settings. The M1 chip also enables this new generation of MacBook Air to tackle high-intensity tasks like audio, photo, and video editing without breaking a sweat. More impressively, the MacBook Air sustains this level of performance without a fan inside. This limits the laptop slightly. The processor will slow down a bit to avoid overheating, but not as much as earlier generations. If you're in the market for a high-performance laptop in a thin and light frame, the 13-inch MacBook Pro is the right computer for you. 2. 13-inch MacBook Pro. We've had a chance to try Apple's new 13-inch MacBook Pro for ourselves, and it's the best computer we've ever used. It has the same 13.3-inch high-resolution Retina display, 8GB of RAM, 256GB of storage, and M1 processor as the MacBook Air, plus a few key extras. The biggest one is the Touch Bar, a touchscreen that replaces the traditional function keys on the laptop. The Touch Bar can display different information based on the app you're using, giving you quick access to important settings. Its screen is slightly brighter, so you'll be able to see it more easily if you're using it outdoors on a sunny day, and its battery lasts up to 20 hours on a single charge. The 13-inch MacBook Pro also has a fan, which allows it to cool down the processor if you're doing a high-intensity task. The new 13-inch MacBook Pro is Apple's best computer in this size class. It's an extremely powerful machine you should have no problem taking with you anywhere. 3. 16-inch MacBook Pro. If you need a big screen laptop to get work done, Apple's 16-inch MacBook Pro is the best choice. It has a 16-inch high-resolution Retina display, 16GB of RAM, 512GB of storage, and runs a 6-core Intel i7 processor. While the M1 has a lot going for it, third-party apps were optimized to work best on Intel, which will continue to be true for at least a year. This laptop also has Apple's Touch Bar instead of traditional function keys. Apple says the 16-inch MacBook Pro can get up to 11 hours of usage per charge. 4. MacBook Air M1. The MacBook Air with M1 is the best MacBook for most people overall. Thanks to the new Apple M1 SoC, you are getting the blazing fast performance of Apple Silicon, which can even outperform the 2019 16-inch MacBook Pro. And since the 8 cores in the M1 chip are optimized for performance and efficiency, Apple even took out the fan, so you're getting nothing but pure quiet with the new MacBook Air. Add in the fact that you get 18 hours of battery life and a sharp Retina display with Touch ID, the new MacBook Air can certainly go a very long way, and it's the most affordable MacBook right now. It's also incredibly thin, so it can fit pretty much any of the best cases or great sleeves out there, making it the perfect travel companion. 5. 16-inch MacBook Pro. For the Pro on the go, there's the 16-inch MacBook Pro, which packs in a bigger screen with fewer bezels in the familiar chassis of the previous 15-inch. This workhorse of a laptop can support up to 8 cores of Intel's latest Coffee Lake Refresh processor chip with turbo boosts of up to 4.8 GHz and SSD read speeds of up to 3.2 gigabits per second. It has 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, the most in the entire Mac laptop line, and can be spec'd out to as much as 64 GB of memory and an 8 TB SSD hard drive with Radeon Pro 5300M or 5500M graphics with up to 8 GB of GDDR6 memory. It's fast. It's powerful. It'll sing for you while it renders your videos, not literally. Just keep in mind that the 16-inch MacBook Pro is a little dated at this point since it does not have Apple's M1 SoC inside, which has been proven to outclass Intel processors. But you still get the biggest screen on a MacBook, compatibility with software that doesn't run on M1 Macs, and the most Thunderbolt 3 ports.